Hello, and thanks for watching Wired In. I'm Diana Gulotta, Executive Director of Public Relations and Marketing for Hampton City Schools. Today we have Delrose Adkinson and Sophia Holliday, who are culinary experts at Phoebus High School. We're so glad to have you today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So first off, tell me a little bit about yourselves and how you ended up in the culinary arts role at Phoebus High School. We'll start with you, Delrose.
Well, I took the non-traditional route into education. I was in the field marketing, wow. And I went through the Career Switcher program at Old Dominion University and got my certification to teach marketing education. And I got my first job at Phoebus High School, and I taught marketing for 5 years. And then I was always hanging out with the culinary arts teachers. So when one of the culinary arts teachers went to another school division, I found out what I needed to do to qualify for the role as culinary arts teacher, and I took those steps, applied for the job, and I got it, and I get to work with Sophia.
That's great. So how did you get to Phoebus, Sophia?
Well, I'm actually an alumni of Phoebus High School. I too went through the culinary arts program there. Then it was occupational food service.
Okay.
I went on to Johnson & Wales University and graduated with a bachelor's degree in food service management. And then my old culinary arts teacher, who she took the position of, she called me and told me that there was a position open. And so I interviewed and I came down, and it's been 7 years.
Wow.
Since I've been there.
So tell us a little bit about the culinary arts program. Do you have to be a student at Phoebus, or can you go to another high school? How does that work?
No, you don't have to be a student at Phoebus High School. You can be at any of the 4 high schools, Hampton, Kickingham, or Bethel. And for the outside schools, you just have to fill out the application. It comes to us, we review it, and if you meet all the criteria, such as doing an essay, your grade point average, and some other factors, then you're usually approved to come to the school.
So Delrose, tell us about how many students come through the program on an annual basis.
Annually, I would say about 140, 150 students. We have 4 levels. We started the 3rd level last year as a pilot, and this year it ran fully from Introduction to Culinary Arts, then Culinary Arts 1, 2, and then 3. And we funnel from 9th grade through 12th grade. So about 120 to 150 students.
That's great. So a big population there of high school students. So tell me a little bit about what a typical day looks like for a culinary arts student in your program.
Well, usually with the classes being 90 minutes, they'll have, for the most part, maybe one day it will be lecture. Like for instance, today in class we had lecture time. We were going over global foods. And then tomorrow, maybe they'll have a lab where we're focusing more so on these areas of the United States that we're going into, American regional foods. And then from there, it's just like that. So one day it may be labs, one day it might be a lecture, as well as some other things mixed in.
Okay, great. Well, the Blue Phantom Inn, oh my. I've been there twice. I was there last week. Phenomenal experience. The food is great. It's obvious the students are trying to learn how to serve and the great customer service skills. I'm always impressed when I go to the Blue Phantom Inn, and I notice that you are trying to get some members of the community in to the Blue Phantom Inn. So tell me a little bit about the Blue Phantom Inn and how it fits into the curriculum.
Well, I'll talk about the front of the house. We split the duties as such.
Okay.
Sophia handles the back of the house, and we have a 3rd block class, and those are our year 1 students.
Okay.
And so we typically use those students for the restaurants. And we rotate the students through all the positions, whether front of the house or back of the house. And so we train them on providing excellent customer service, and we train them also in preparing the foods. They get to practice the skills that we talk about in the classroom.
Okay.
And they're usually very nervous but once they put their foot in the water and after their first or second experience, they become experts.
Well, I've been very impressed. So what does the back of the house mean? That's really what we don't see, I guess, when we're dining in.
Yep, so it's the cooking, the preparation of actual food. And so with that, we typically start 1 to 2 days before we're actually going to serve the public, because a lot of things, they're mise en place, so putting everything together, gathering the items for the recipe, grocery shopping, things like that, and the students actually preparing the meals. So it all goes hand in hand to make that flow of the day better.
So about how many days a year do you open up the Blue Phantom Inn for visitors? Is it a couple times a year, or?
We typically do 1 restaurant per month.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
great.
So usually September, as you know, September is busy. Kids are still flowing in and out of class, so we use that to kind of organize ourselves. And so our first restaurant is usual toward the end of October, November, and then January, February, and our last one is coming up
At the end of
At
May.
the end of May.
Okay, so if somebody was interested in coming and eating, where would they get information?
Well, the best way to start normally would be to, usually in-house, we'll usually email out.
Okay.
And sometimes people that will just come per chance, they'll say, well, can we be added to the email list? Also, through, I know sometimes we've had it on the school board showing,
Okay.
where they'll put up our menu saying order now, and it's been a great help with getting people from outside to come in like that.
And maybe our department can help you a little bit in terms of sending the information out. So I also understand that this is an award-winning program. I've heard that it's been featured in Southern Living magazine, and here recently I believe I read that at least one student got a pretty sizable scholarship in culinary arts. So tell me just generally about some of the awards that our students and the program has won.
Well, we participate in 3 programs. The first one being CCAP, Careers Through Culinary Arts program, and that one is for underserved youth, and it's in several states throughout the United States. And we recently had 2 students to participate, and they both came out with pretty big scholarships. One to the Colonial Williamsburg Foundation, the apprenticeship program that they have there, and the other one to the Culinary Institute of Virginia. And in the past years, we've had students win full tuition scholarships to numerous universities. So
Great, great.
And then the other program that, actually the curriculum that we use is through the National Restaurant Association, and it's called ProStart. And it combines classroom instruction with industry experience. And it also provides scholarship opportunities for the students to compete. And Sophia and I took 2 teams. I took the restaurant management team, and Sophia took the culinary team. And the students both won scholarships. And of course, we also participate in FCCLA. That's the co-curricular club, or student organization that's linked to our family and consumer sciences classes. So we're pretty busy over there.
Well, it sounds like a fantastic program. Is there anything else that you want to add about the program?
Well, we love teaching.
I could tell.
we enjoy the students. Some of the students say we're tough on them, but that's because the industry's tough. And so we have to give them, the real, basically, and help them to understand what's expected of them in industry.
Well, and speaking of students, perhaps we can have a student or 2 come back in the future. I know we wanted to do that today, but we weren't able to do that. But in the future, we would love to have a student or 2 come back onto Wired In and just really give the perspective from the student. I think that would be great.
yes, it would be.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I can tell that you are both quite passionate for the Culinary Arts program, and that our students are very lucky to have you. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us today on Wired In. Have a wonderful week.